If your house burnt down tomorrow, would your insurance actually rebuild it? In Nevada in 2026, that's not a simple question anymore. I'm not just talking about rates. I'm talking about what your policy actually covers, what it doesn't, and a brand new law that could leave you with a major gap in your coverage if you're not paying enough attention. I run an independent insurance agency in Nevada. We write home insurance across the state. This video isn't a carrier comparison. I did that for auto insurance recently. This is the video I wish every Nevada homeowner would watch before they buy or renew a policy, because most people are making decisions based on price alone, and in this state, that can cost you. Let's start with what you're buying. A standard homeowner's policy, most people have what's called an HO3, covers 4 main things. First, dwelling coverage. That's the structure of your home. If your house burns down or a tree falls on it, dwelling coverage pays to rebuild it. Second, personal property. That's your stuff, furniture, electronics, clothing, everything inside your house. On an HO3, your personal property is covered on a named peril basis, meaning it only covers specific events listed in the policy. Your dwelling is covered on an open peril basis, which means it covers everything unless it's specifically excluded. Third, liability. If someone gets hurt on your property, slips by the pool, your dog bites a guest, liability coverage pays their medical bills and legal costs if they sue you. Fourth, loss of use. If your home is damaged badly enough that you can't live in it, loss of use pays for your temporary housing, meals, and other living expenses while repairs are being made. That's what most people think they're getting when they buy home insurance, and they're mostly right, but the gaps in that coverage are where Nevada homeowners get into trouble. This is the section that matters most. Your standard homeowner's policy in Nevada does not cover if water enters your home from the outside, a flash flood, a monsoon, a rising water table. Your homeowner's policy will not pay for it. You need a separate flood policy. And in Nevada, flash flooding is a real risk, especially in the Las Vegas Valley. People assume because we're in the desert, flooding isn't an issue. It absolutely is. Earthquake damage. Nevada sits on active fault lines. The western part of the state, Reno, Carson City, the Tahoe area, has significant seismic activity. A standard homeowner's policy excludes earthquake damage entirely. You need a separate earthquake policy or endorsement, and it's something a lot of Nevada homeowners overlook because they associate earthquakes with California, not Nevada. And now the big one for 2026. As of January 1st, 2026, a new Nevada law went into effect that allows insurance companies to exclude wildfire coverage from standard homeowners policies. This is Assembly Bill 376, and it's a significant change. Up until now, wildfire damage was included in your standard homeowners policy. If your home was damaged or destroyed by a wildfire, your policy covered it. Under the new law, insurers now have the option to remove that coverage from your policy and offer it separately as a standalone wildfire policy that you'd have to purchase on top of your homeowner's insurance. Not every carrier is going to do this. The law doesn't require anyone to remove wildfire coverage, and so far, no carrier in Nevada has actually made this change, but now it's legally possible. And for homeowners in higher risk areas, the Reno Tahoe region, parts of the Eastern Sierra, anywhere near the wildland urban interface, this is something you need to check on immediately. Here's why this matters so much. Nevada doesn't have a fair plan. California has one. It's a state-run insurer of last resort for people who can't get coverage on the private market. Nevada has nothing like that. So if your carrier drops wildfire coverage from your policy and you can't find a standalone wildfire policy at a price you can afford, you're exposed. Wildfire-related policy cancellations and non-renewals have been climbing fast in Nevada, up over 80% in recent years. Insurers are pulling back from high-risk areas. If you live in one of those areas, you need to know exactly what your policy says, not what it used to say. Read your renewal paperwork carefully, or better yet, have your agent review it with you. If you take one thing from this video, let it be this: check whether your homeowner's policy still includes wildfire coverage. Don't assume it does just because it did last year. This is one of the most misunderstood parts of home insurance, and it can be the difference between rebuilding your home and not being able to. Replacement cost means your insurer will pay what it actually costs to rebuild your home at today's prices. Materials, labor, everything. Actual cash value means they'll pay replacement cost minus depreciation. So if your roof is 15 years old and gets destroyed, actual cash value pays you what a 15-year-old roof is worth, which isn't much. You want replacement cost coverage on your dwelling, and ideally you want extended replacement cost or guaranteed replacement cost, which gives you a buffer above your dwelling limit. Construction costs spike after major events. A wildfire near Incline Village that takes out a neighborhood, a weather event that creates a surge in demand for contractors. If your policy caps at $400,000 and it costs $480,000 to rebuild because every contractor in the region is booked, you're short $80,000 unless you have that extended coverage. On personal property, you also want replacement cost rather than actual cash value. The difference in premium is usually modest, but the difference at claim time is significant. Beyond the standard policy, there are endorsements, basically add-ons that I'd recommend most Nevada homeowners at least consider. Water backup and sewer drain overflow. Your standard policy doesn't cover damage from sewers backing up into your home or sump pump failures. This is usually one endorsement, often called water backup and sump discharge. It typically costs $20 to $40 a year and can cover $10,000 to $25,000 in damage. It's one of the most common claims we see and one of the most commonly missed endorsements, especially in older Nevada homes. Earthquake damage. As I mentioned, this is excluded from your standard policy. In Western Nevada especially, this is worth serious consideration. The endorsement or standalone policy cost varies depending on your location and home construction, but the alternative is being completely uninsured for one of the real risks in this state. Schedule personal property. If you have jewelry, art, firearms, collectibles, or other high-value items, your standard policy has sublimits on those categories that are probably lower than you think. Scheduling those items separately ensures they're covered at their appraised value. Pool liability. Nevada has a lot of homes with pools, and pools are a significant liability exposure. If your home has a pool, make sure your liability limits are adequate, and consider whether an umbrella policy makes sense on top of that. I've got a separate video on umbrella insurance if you want to understand how that works. People focus a lot on which carrier is cheapest, but understanding what actually drives your premium is more useful because those are the things you can influence. Your home's location. Las Vegas homeowners generally pay more than Reno or Henderson. Rural Nevada can be lower. Your specific zip codes affects your rate based on local claims history, crime rates, fire response times, and proximity to a fire hydrant. Your home's age and construction. Newer homes built to current codes cost less to insure. Older homes with outdated electrical, plumbing, or roofing systems cost more. If you've updated those systems, make sure your insurer knows it can lower your premium. Your roof. The age, material, and condition of your roof is one of the single biggest factors in your home insurance rate. A 20-year-old roof is going to cost you significantly more to insure than a 5-year-old roof. In some cases, carriers won't write you at all if your roof is past a certain age. Your credit score. In Nevada, insurers are allowed to use your credit-based insurance score when calculating your rate. Depending on the carrier, homeowners with poor credit pay anywhere from 50% to over 100% more than those with excellent credit. That's one of the biggest swings in your premium, and it's something most people don't realize is a factor. Your claims history. If you've filed claims in the last 5 years, expect to pay more. One claim can add a few $100s a year to your premium. Multiple claims can make it hard to find coverage at all. This is why most agents will tell you not to file small claims that are close to your deductible. The short-term payout isn't worth the long-term rate impact. Your deductible. Higher deductible, lower premium. A $2,500 deductible can save you 15 to 20% compared to a $1,000 deductible. But make sure you can actually afford to pay that deductible if you need to file a claim. Don't pick a deductible based on what saves you the most money. Pick one based on what you could comfortably write a check for tomorrow if something happened. If you're shopping for home insurance in Nevada, here's what I'd tell any client sitting in front of me. Get quotes from at least 3 carriers, but make sure you're comparing the same coverage levels. A lower premium with lower dwelling limits isn't a better deal, it's less protection. Look beyond the premium. Ask about claims handling. Look at J.D. Power scores and NAIC compliant ratios. A policy you save $200 a year on isn't worth it if the company makes filing a claim a nightmare. Read what's excluded, especially now with the wildfire law change. Don't assume your policy covers what it covered last year. Read the declarations page. If you don't understand something, ask your agent. That's what we're here for. Consider bundling, but not blindly. Bundling home and auto with the same carrier can save you 15 to 25%, but if the bundled carrier is significantly worse on home insurance claims or coverage, you might be better off splitting them. The discount isn't worth it if the product is worse. Review your policy every year. Your home's value changes. Construction costs change. Your situation changes. A policy that was right for you 2 years ago might not be right today. At minimum, review your dwelling coverage limit, your personal property coverage, and your endorsements annually. So to wrap this up, home insurance in Nevada is more than just finding the lowest price. Between the new wildfire law, earthquake risk, flash flooding, and all the coverage nuances that can make or break a claim, the decisions you make about your policy actually matter. If you're in Nevada and you're not 100% sure what your policy covers, send it to us. We'll review it. No pressure, no sales pitch. We'll just tell you where you stand. Check out our Google reviews to see what our clients have to say, and there's a link in the description if you want us to take a look at your policy. And if you want to understand how to protect yourself beyond your homeowner's policy, I made a video on umbrella insurance that explains how that works. It's right here. Thanks for watching.